Ramadan Kareem, welcome to the Lovin Dubai show with me, Casey.
And Farah.
And we go through the big trending stories that everyone across the country is talking about. Our top story for you today, the UAE has announced $1.2 billion to support Gaza as part of Trump's Board of Peace.
And a man gifts his coffee to a barista on the first day of Ramadan.
We want your thoughts on a story about a man who says a 60k salary is actually the most dangerous salary you can have.
And a resident is urging people to give charity without filming workers.
In today's rapid weather report, it's mostly sunny with temperatures ranging from 20 to 30 degrees. It's Friday, it's Ramadan. We're heading into the weekend, but before we get there, I need your help.
Yes.
I have a question. And I've put a foot wrong here, so I want to know what you would do in this situation. Would you call the police? Did something silly. I have an apartment in Dubai Marina. It's currently idle.
Okay, so no one's renting it right now.
So no one's renting it right now, and I'm trying to get new people in. And so I had brokers reach out to me. They said, is the apartment available? I said, yes. I kind of like played it as though the apartment was locked, but it wasn't. It hasn't been locked for quite some time.
Okay, got it.
And so this week I get a message saying someone went to see the apartment and they said it's in shocking condition. And
this is the broker telling you?
The broker told me that someone went to see it and it was like someone had just gone into an apartment, seen it. They were like, shocking condition, loads of exclamation marks. They were like, broken this, loads of exclamation marks. This was gross. And I was like, I mean, it's not a new apartment. It's not modern, but I'd had it painted.
Okay.
Things had been cleared. And so I went to check it. And I was a bit nervous about going to check it because I was like, what if there's someone in there? I got the security to come up with me. And what it looks like is someone has been using the bedroom area. I'll give you an example. There was, you know what there was, which makes me just think of like, there was these ladies' wax strips, like a pink packet. And I'm thinking, what was that for?
What are you doing in someone's random apartment with that?
And there's no diva there. So like someone...
Oh, yeah. Oh.
So I don't know. Now they didn't use the kitchen at all, but they definitely, all the living room pillows and stuff were all over the place. And then the curtains were fully broken. So the rail rods were pulled down and there was just weird stuff in weird places. And it was a bit gross.
Why would people do that? That's so strange. Okay, back to your question.
Yeah, would you call the police in that situation?
You're trying to think, like, what would they do in that situation? How can they help you? But my answer is always yes. But I don't know why. But, like, I don't know. I just feel like sometimes alerting the authorities can stop something worse from happening. Let's say these people were thinking, oh, it's okay, I'll come back and use the apartment again. I don't know. Yeah, I think it would.
My husband felt the very same as you. He's like, absolutely call the police because you need to make sure that this doesn't happen again. I have not called the police yet because I'm thinking the damage probably equates to like 1,000 dirham, which I think calling the police I may not get back. And it's the time and effort and hassle. But now I think about it, the reason this whole thing happened was because I was avoiding time, effort and hassle by having the door open. And it was a really irresponsible decision. And so I told the security team to check the cameras. And if they don't get back to me by the end of the day with more information, then I will call the police, I suppose. But yeah, I feel like it's just a gross thing to happen. I was in there yesterday, like trying to tidy it all up, like touching things. Like,
I would be shocked if I was in such a situation. Like, it's not normal. And I think you might have been seeing it as like, oh, I don't feel like locking the apartment right now. It's just for convenience and stuff. But I think I would low-key do the same.
Leave it open?
Yeah, I think I would. Because then again, like most of the times when I go see apartments, they're already open.
Yeah.
The security kind of just says, oh, go upstairs. Sometimes I'm not even with the broker. They just say, okay, yeah, go upstairs.
That's true.
Blah, blah, blah. So I'm just like, okay, so they do kind of leave apartments that are vacant open.
I have to say the security team didn't seem, now I'm rethinking the conversations that we had, the security team didn't seem that surprised by the whole thing. Not at all. They were like, no, ma'am, we have the log here. And then when I explained to them the second time I visited, when I was trying to cause a bit of a fuss, that there was more of an issue, they were like, well, this can happen because doors are open and da, da, da. They weren't surprised by the situation. And so that actually rings an alarm bell as we're speaking.
Yeah.
And I shall go down the proper routes. Do my police they're probably already aware because I'm having this conversation right now.
Yeah.
They already know. It's already done.
Yeah, but yeah, no, I think I would call the police. Maybe I don't know what I would get out of it. Like, maybe they may not necessarily help you get the money back from all the damages, but I think alerting them is good enough.
You're right. And actually, just to make sure it doesn't happen again, because if it happened again, like first point, my fault, but also it happens. If it happens again, 100% my fault.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll call the police. Let's jump into our top story of the day. The UAE announces $1.2 billion Gaza support to Trump's Board of Peace. The UAE has announced this amazing announcement yesterday in the US. His Highness Sheikh Abdullah bin Zayed Al Nahyan, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs, announced the contribution during his participation in the first meeting of the Board of Peace held in Washington under the chairmanship and invitation of US President Donald Trump.
Sheikh Abdullah's participation in the meeting came at the start of a working visit to the United States of America, reflecting the depth of the strategic partnership between the UAE and the United States and the shared commitment of both sides to strengthening international efforts aimed at consolidating the foundations of regional security and stability.
And so we actually have His Highness Sheikh Abdullah's speech here, and we're going to play it for you. Take a listen.
Mr. President, just over 5 years ago, you with your friend, my president, Sheikh Mohammed, and the Prime Minister of Israel launched the Abrahamic Accords. And since then, we've managed not only to work with you, with Israel, towards a better future for the region, but even when October 7th took place, the UAE managed to work with Israel in providing, since the war started, almost $3 billion of assistance to the Palestinian people in Gaza. Today, Mr. President, the UAE announces a further $1.2 billion for supporting Gaza through the Board of Peace. And Mr. President, if it wasn't for your support, I think this board would not have been gathered. We would not have had the meeting in New York to end this war when you gathered 8 leaders of the region to end this war. So, Mr. President, during Ramadan, we pray for your success. Thank you.
So if you were just joining us, that was His Highness Sheikh Abdullah at the first meeting of the Board of Peace, and attending that meeting along with His Highness were Reem Al-Hashmi, Minister of State for International Cooperation, and Yusuf Al-Ataiba, UAE Ambassador to the US. A bit of a background on the Board of Peace. It's an international organisation, and its purpose is promoting peacekeeping around the world. It was established by Donald Trump, led by the government of the United States, and it's named in the UN Security Council resolution as a body tasked with overseeing the processes of the Gaza peace plan, and we hope to see peace there as fragile moments there continue. We shall move in to our next story. We are in the middle, we have just begun the holy month of Ramadan, and with that we are seeing some lovely giving stories.
Yeah, exactly. There's so many really cute stories for Ramadan, but this one is extra special. A resident gifts his coffee to a barista on the first day of Ramadan. So this resident shared a video from a business meeting that he was having at a Costa Coffee in the UAE on the first day of fasting. Since he was observing Ramadan but needed to sit in a cafe for the meeting, he said he didn't feel comfortable occupying the space without ordering something, but he was also fasting. So instead of ordering for himself, he asked the barista what her favorite drink was and gifted it to her.
Makes so much sense. He captured the video Ramadan fasting day 1, business meeting in Costa Coffee, gifted my order to a barista. I hope this is the right move. In the clip, he explains that while fasting, he wanted to make sure he handled the situation respectfully, especially since he was sitting in a coffee shop during the day.
The gesture was so simple, but it sparked conversations online about kindness, intention, and small acts during Ramadan. Sometimes it's not about the size of the act, it's just the thought that you put behind it. And I think in this situation, I think he handled it well. I would have to say.
I assume he would have checked if the barista was fasting.
Yeah, I would hope so. I would hope so as well.
Because I think that's the only thing you really need to think about.
Yeah, there's just the little thing that you need to consider, I guess. Because essentially, you don't want to occupy a space in a cafe or a restaurant or something without ordering anything. I understand that it's Ramadan, but you're still kind of in this like, but it's Ramadan, it's during the day, it's fasting hours. What am I supposed to do? So I think he handled it well.
So you think some people would even not be sure whether or not they should order something in the first place or not? How would they not be sure?
I think in general days, people will feel obligated to, and I will always feel obligated to. I'm like, even for like a second, I don't think I could sit here without ordering anything. So I will always do that. I will always order something, just, even if it's just a water, I will always do that, just so that I'm not occupying space. But in the situation where you're fasting and things like that, or let's say you're in a mall, I think I would overthink it so much. So I think the way that he handled it was like the most ideal scenario. Ideal scenario in this situation for me, because I think I would be like, what do I do? What do I do?
So that is, if you do need the space, that's the thing to do.
Yeah. Because sometimes the little merch that you can get at those places is like, maybe like really expensive and for no reason. So like, I'm even thinking like, okay, do I buy like those like coffee beans? What do I do? Ooh.
Or do I buy something and then keep it for later, but then it's in your bag for the day and that's just not...
Yeah, that's not
That would
great.
be tempting.
Yeah.
That would be tricky.
Yeah. But so I think it's okay. I think that he handled it pretty well. I think it's a good tactic. Would I do it? I'm too shy to do that.
To buy the coffee for the barista?
Yeah. I would be so shy.
So what are you going to do if you need an event space, you need a meeting space, and acknowledging that it may not be fair to just sit there and use it?
I think I would buy something that I could use later, something that's in like a packet or something.
Yeah.
That's what I would do. But what he did was really cute.
I think that was a really nice move. And no doubt he's getting praise from the Lovin Dubai audience for doing such a thing.
Obviously, there are mixed comments.
Oh, there are some mixed comments.
That's
yes.
the usual.
And this will bring us into our final story of the day. So Call Me Shani says, oh yes, and immediately post about it. Good deeds or odd intentions. Well, we'll actually talk a little bit more about that later in the show, whether posting something is a good deed or whether it's an odd intention. I think this is actually he's taken some initiative here.
Yes. I think in this case, he wasn't trying to like boast about like his good intent, his
just
good
a coffee.
deeds.
Yeah,
it was
no
just a
biggie.
coffee. It's just because a lot of people like me will overthink the situation and will go like, well, what do I do?
Yeah.
So I think he handled it very well. I don't think him filming. He didn't even film the scenario. He's just talking about it. So I think in that case, he
wasn't trying to get like props for buying someone a coffee like it's a coffee. But I've never thought about the fact that if you are a freelancer and you've got a co-working space situation like that, you're going to, what do you do? Because there is an obligation to spend some money or to, and he's actually brought up a really fair, low-key issue that people might have during the holy month if they're fasting.
Yeah, I would feel the same way.
Yeah.
Because what would freelancers do in this scenario? I'm lucky enough to be working in an office space.
Non-fasting baristas might be getting a lot of coffees.
Yeah. But like, yeah, in that scenario, I would be overthinking it too much. So I think maybe this is a learning experience in a way. Here's what you could do. A couple alternatives there. You don't have to buy something and then keep it for later, unless it's in a packet and like, you're comfortable with that.
Here's an alternative.
Yeah.
I wonder if coffee shops will take heed of this And maybe they'll put in, you know, you can sit here, but just make a 30 dirham donation to this charity or something.
Oh, that's cute too.
But it does open up, because I imagine, I can think of so many people who would be going out to coffee shops or business meetings and now won't be able to order. Okay, let's jump into our next story. I love this one. There's a LinkedIn post which has detailed why 60,000 dirham salary is apparently the most dangerous salary you can have. The comments are open. We see your comments. We'd love your thoughts on this one. Tariq Shahib takes to LinkedIn to explain why. He said, you're on 60k a month. That feels successful. You probably have a nice apartment, probably even a nice villa. Your kids are going to private schools, you've got 2 cars, you're going on 2 to 3 holidays per year, and you're going to breakfast without checking the bill. You look rich, but are you free?
He continued saying, with 60,000 dirhams per month, you can upgrade your lifestyle faster than your assets. Fixed costs quietly rise to 40,000 to 50,000 per month. But once lifestyle locks in, risk tolerance drops. You won't go and do the thing you really wanted to do. Your downside risk of not being able to afford the things you can afford now feels real. You become too comfortable to leap, too committed to cut back, too expensive to reset. You're earning well, but you're trapped well. The dangerous salary is the one that funds the image but delays the exit.
Funds the image that delays the exit. So you might look at someone and think they have it all. They have this big house, this nice car, kids in these nice schools, uniforms look fancy. But is that person truly happy in what they're doing on their 60k salary? And if they're not, can they leave? He's basically saying it's a trap.
Yeah.
It's a spinning cycle. And once you're in that, and especially when you have the family commitments around you, as soon as kids go into school, it becomes very difficult.
Yeah.
But then, I mean, a 60k is a nice salary.
Oh yeah, that is a nice salary.
So he's getting ripped apart for this.
Of course, because people will think, oh, you're just not grateful for the salary that you're getting. I think he's grateful. I think he put it to good use. You know, nice apartment, private schools, nice cars, holidays, not checking the bill. All these things are great, but I'm gonna have to be. I have to say I'm a little against the argument that he's trying to make. I feel like if you are making that much and you do have these nice things, yes, it is hard to cut back and kind of take a step back into the lifestyle that you have already. I think it's manageable. I think it's doable to go back to your humble beginnings.
I think it's doable, but it is different when you bring in a family situation. I was speaking totally separate to a money manager yesterday, and she said that couples, one of the prime reasons for divorces is money. One of the prime reasons.
Get it, yeah.
And she said it's because people can have a great relationship, but they are totally mismatched and they don't talk about it. It's a very taboo subject. So if you have a couple and maybe someone wants to cut back to, you're in the villa, you've got the kids in school, you've got the houses, and someone wants to come back, but if the other person isn't aligned with you, then A, maybe you can't even broach it, or B, you could broach it, but it causes all sorts of arguments. And if person 2 maybe isn't working, but is happy with the lifestyle,
Yeah, of course.
then person 1 is extremely trapped.
Yeah. Yeah. In that situation, I can see what he's saying. Like, let's say partner 2, the one who's not working, is obviously so in love with the lifestyle. Person 1 will feel so obligated to continue that, even if they're unhappy with the job that's giving them this 60K. It's all about communication, guys. Just talk about it.
Sami Rehman says, I want this problem in my life.
No, I don't. I am so against that problem in my life. I never want to be in a situation where I have too much money. I don't know what kind of person I would be. It's always good to have money. It is. But for me, it's more about security and less about what I could do. Of course, I want to have a nice place, a nice car, have kids in nice schools and all that stuff. But I think it's good to also be very moderate because it keeps you humble, keeps you down to earth.
I totally agree with you.
I don't know.
But I think what he's saying is that when the salary rolls in, the expenses get higher. And so
It
maybe
does.
you
Of course it
upgrade,
does.
maybe you upgrade the car. Maybe
You're going to be enticed to do that.
clothes get a bit nicer. I don't know, like
Yeah,
that's...
no, it will happen. Of course it will.
Anyway, they're basically saying no matter what you're earning, you're not safe. But what he's essentially trying to say is don't get stuck in a trap and find what you love. Let's go on to our next story. We're talking again about giving in Dubai.
A resident is urging people to give charity, but without filming workers. In a video circulating online, she called out a trend she says really, really bothers her every year during Ramadan because people are filming workers while they're handing them food or charity. She said, one thing that I see every Ramadan that really bothers me is people doing charity, but they record the workers when they're giving them food. This is so, so humiliating for the workers, she says. She acknowledged that some argue they film to inspire others to do good, but added, I understand that some people will say that we're recording because we want people to do good. Amazing. But you don't need to record those. Like, you don't need to record the faces.
Just for transparency, this is in fact my sister-in-law who made this point, Hamz Fathi. And then she also made another point. The only difference between you and that worker is that God chose you to be blessed. Literally, that's it. She emphasized that doing good, especially during Ramadan, is highly encouraged, but respecting people's privacy and dignity matters just as much. The video has sparked a wider discussion about intention, visibility, and whether charity should ever come with the camera. I think this is a very interesting topic at the beginning of Ramadan, especially in a city where we film everything. The question opens up, what is okay to film and what is not?
A lot of people are there's a lot of people that are creators, even if they're not like full-time creators or anything, they will film situations like these. So we're getting mixed comments.
Yes.
Let me share one of them. Please respect people's dignity, at least blur out their faces. Such videos can and are encouraging for others, but need to be done with sensitivity and empathy. Totally agree with that one. You can continue to do good, but at least blur the faces or hide them or something like that, just to respect privacy. Another one said, hi, as an influencer, I get so motivated. I used to see these videos when I was 16, and I couldn't wait to turn 18 so I can earn and do the same thing. Not every time these kinds of videos are humiliating, but sometimes people get motivated seeing these kinds of videos. Yes.
Yes, but we have this conversation on the show quite regularly that it's important for acts of giving to be shared, and I really do think so.
I think
so.
So
For
too.
example, I only know that people leave water outside their door during the summer months because I've seen it online because of the videos.
Yeah, same.
But the difference, and what I think Hamza is saying here, is just don't record the people. And I've been in charitable movements throughout the Holy Month, the Giving Family, and I would feel very uncomfortable taking out my phone to film the people.
Right?
Because that's the distinction here is the dignity of that person. And so you can film all you want, and it's great to film and give awareness for things happening throughout the Holy Month and give awareness for the ways you can give back in the different initiatives, but don't tarnish, don't take someone's respect.
Yeah, 100%. It's I'm okay with obviously doing good, giving back and all that stuff, but once you're starting to film people's faces, that's when it's like, who are you doing this for now? So this begs the question, should there be clear rules around filming acts of charity? I think so. I will have to say yes. Maybe we do obviously have, with media law, privacy laws and all that stuff that will protect people. But surrounding this specifically, not 100% clear.
True, but I think the laws are in place to always respect people's dignity in shooting in the UAE. So I think that it's actually already there.
It's just a matter of reading up on it and being 100% sure about it.
Yeah, exactly. So get those phones out, show us the good deeds that are available, but just respect the privacy of people that you may be filming. This is the Lovin Dubai show. It is Friday and it is Ramadan. Enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you so much, Farah, for joining me. And we'll see you back here on Monday morning, same time, same place. We're actually going to have a review of Wuthering Heights. Yes, we are. So have a beautiful weekend. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.